What is up, everybody? It is Sunday, end of the week. Time for another end of week market update. As I said, it is Sunday, February 16th at 10:18 at night. Getting this one out a little bit late. I believe I'm going to post this on Monday, but it's not a big deal because Monday is President's Day, which means the markets are closed. So I don't feel bad posting this one on Monday because trading hasn't resumed for the next week, so it doesn't seem that bad. As we can see right here, the S&P ended up right about all-time highs again, which I don't like because I'm going to start day trading again next week. And I like kind of being down in this range where we got a little more knowledge of support and resistance levels. But, we got the previous candle marked out right here. I'm going to do a little OBS, which is opening breakout strategy. Little call options, put options, little options trading. But anyways, we have, I believe, 3 different pieces of news. One from Boeing, one about X, and one about just kind of federal news. We also have 3 stocks to go over: Celsius, NVDA, and Archer Aviation. And then we're going to take a little bit of a look at the portfolio. I did not get paid any dividends this week. However, I had a huge day in the market that I can't wait to share because I was gooning all over it. Anyways, let's hop into that first piece of news. This first little bit of news we're going to be looking at is an update on President Trump's federal buyout plan. Previously, last week, I believe, District Court Judge George O'Toole blocked the plan and paused it and basically said, we ain't going to be doing this shit. And he decided to lift the pause, So now we're back to buying out federal employees. How great. Saving the government money in the long run. How beautiful. If you are opposed to Doge, then you just don't like Trump. So you're going to hate anything that he does. It is a good plan, good branch of government. It's needed. This second bit of news is about Boeing. Now, Boeing's CEO is set to testify before the U.S. Senate Commerce Panel on April 2nd. This is following the Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 incident last year, where I believe a loose screw caused one of the rear emergency exit hatches to fly off of the fucking plane. So, not something that we like to happen. That's not very, very safe, not very fun for the parties involved. So the Boeing CEO is set to testify before that panel on April 2nd, which is still quite a bit away. If we come over here, look over here, we got two-ish months. We're kind of midway through February, so I'll give you about a month and a half until he's set to speak. So this is something to be looking for. If this guy makes an absolute ass out of himself, the stock price might drop a little bit. If he looks like he knows what he's doing, might go up a little bit. I personally believe that Boeing has just gone down the shitter. Between all of the Boeing incidents in the last year, 2-3 years, and the Boeing rocket leaving fucking astronauts stranded on the ISS, which is also a big no-no. I don't believe that we're going to be flying on Boeing aircraft for much longer. However, President Trump did just tour a Boeing 747. I don't know if it was to look at it, see if he wanted it to be Air Force One or what. They're still the government's choice of plane, but I don't believe that we will be seeing commercial Boeing jets flying around for very, very often. They've, as I've said, they just gone down the shitter. They're not doing very well. The planes still fly great. I still prefer to fly on 737s. I don't like Airbuses, but safety. You cannot overlook safety in this field, in this market. Air travel is by its nature the most dangerous thing that humans do. So you have to have your safety standards and protocols up to top notch, and I just don't believe that Boeing does. Between the 737 MAX incidents this incident, several other incidents recently, it's just not a good look. Um, Obviously, like Boeing FA-18s, those are so rigorously tested. I believe they'll still have government contracts to be able to produce planes like that. I just don't think. I think the age of Boeing commercial jets is coming to an end, as we've seen with just the downfall of Boeing and how shitty of a company they've become. So this third piece of news, last piece of news, Elon Musk and the XAI Grok 3 is about to be released on Monday. Earlier this week, Elon Musk said that it was in the final stages of being put together, development, and he said that he was going to be released in about a week or two. And obviously, we hit that front part, that the beginning part of that time span. Is supposedly 8 p.m. Pacific time on Monday. It's going to be released with a live demo. So that's something to be looking at. Stock wise, movement. Stuff could be going on with this that we might want to be looking at. Now, on to the stocks for this week. The first stock we're going to be looking at is Celsius. Celsius finished this week at about 22.34. It kind of continued a little downtrend. Bottomed out right here around 21.06. Pushed up with a big green candle on. I was like, oh shoot, I should have gotten that. And then it kind of retraced a little bit. I do believe we're still going to push lower. I mean, we've seen kind of a similar pattern up here with some of these, where it's kind of wanted to push up. Look at this rebound. People probably thought this was going to the moon, and that was at 28. We're at 22 now. My target position is down about $40 overall on a $20 position, or a $200 position. I'm down about 20% on that stock. I do not believe I'm going to hold it for very longer. I think I'm just going to cut losses. I'm down 13.85%, I believe, is what it is. And I think I'm going to sell out of that because it's just harming me more and more. Target recovered a little bit, and then it just went down the shitter again. So I believe that I'm going to sell out of that position, get some more buying power for these next two stocks that we're going to talk about, and Celsius. As I've said in the last episode I posted, I like Celsius below 21. I have a price limit set right at $21. If it jumps below that, I want to buy that. I also have one for Archer Aviation. If it kind of jumps down below, I believe $9 is where that buy order is set at, then I'm going to be buying into that one. I have a $100 deposit going in to that stock as well. So yeah, a $100 investment going into that portfolio. So I'm looking to add a couple new positions. As I said, my main focus was dividend investing because, as y'all know, I used to day trade. I used to day trade SPY options. I lost about $500-$600 on a $2,000 account, and decided it was time to cut it. I wasn't doing well. I'm not gonna fucking do it. So after that, I was kind of sitting there and I'm like, man, the stock market still exists. So I rallied up pretty much all the money I had, and I've kind of been throwing in more money here and there to that account. Just trying to grow that account. It is, as we saw last video, it's sitting right around $3,100. With this new $100 cash position I'm about to drop, it's going to be $3,180, I believe. But yeah, that between selling out of Target and that $100 drop, I should be able to put some money into here and Archer. But as that rant was going on, I forgot what I was talking about. My main focus was dividend investing, so that way I could just sit, let it grow. I didn't have to have my nose in there all the time. That way I'm not sitting here trying to make little 10% jumps off this. I really wasn't thinking that I could do this without detrimenting my health. But I believe I can start day trading again. And also, I'm just going to start throwing bigger amounts of money into positions like this because this is a lower risk than options. In options, I could gain or lose $1,000, whereas in here, I can only gain or lose $40, which is still a decent amount of money for a small $3,000 portfolio. Anyways, after that rant, let's move on to the next stock. This next stock is one I've covered abundantly. It is the good old NVDA. NVIDIA finished the week around 138.85, which is up from, I believe, last week's close of 129, I want to say. I want to say it was somewhere over here. It's obviously continued this bull run. You know, there was kind of like a level right here that it bounced off of. I think tomorrow we're either going to close this gap right here or it's going to bounce down and retest this 135.40 level. I think, of course, this is all speculation. I very strongly believe that we're going to jump up to right around 141, 141, 142 level right here. And there's so much buyer support. It has been dwindling a little bit, but there's so much buying support that I think we're going to top blast through new all-time highs. And if we hit up to 153, I own 2 shares of NVIDIA. That's another $20 on what I'm already in per share. I would have made a $70 profit total. So I think I'm more than happy with that. I'll take profits, get out of there, have a bigger cash position just sitting there either for options trading or what have you. That's really all for NVIDIA this week. There wasn't a whole lot that happened. There was no big news except for the fact that it jumped up. But yeah, let's jump into the next stock. This next stock, as I've been covering for a while, is Archer Aviation. If you don't know what Archer Aviation is, go back to my last video. It was 3 stocks that I'm buying right now. I talked about Archer Aviation in quite a bit of depth, why I like this company, what I think this company can do. So I believe obviously it'll jump pretty high. I'm looking between this and Celsius to invest in, for kind of borderline growth stocks, just kind of a quick buck. But yeah, I'm looking at this stock and Celsius. As mentioned before, I like this stock below $9, but I don't think we're going to see that again. If this jumps through this level right here, that there's been kind of a strong-ish resistance. This whole 985 to 1060 level is a big support resistance. It's a key level, and I think if we close above that, I'm definitely going to get in because she's going to fly, especially with the BlackRock investment that they just landed. I believe it'll grow, and even from here, if I put $200 in right here, I'm making a $40 profit, I believe, 20%, which is decent, and I'm happy with that. So I think this is going to be the next position that I buy. I think Celsius still has some room to bleed down. Archer isn't a very well-known stock, which is why I think it has a lot of potential to grow. I wouldn't consider it a penny stock. Maybe down here I would have. But it's hard to find stocks under $10 nowadays that are really good. But I think this is the next one that's going to be good, that's going to jump, that's going to fly. Jumping back over here to the Webull desktop portfolio, we're looking at the account value over here. We are sitting, as previously stated, $3,081.21, and my open P&L is right around $117, or up 4.02%. These are not open positions. These are from options trades that I lost a while ago. But if we look right here, here's my target position that I'm down 35.77 on. And I believe that I'm going to sell out of this pretty soon. It's a $200 position. And yeah, last time I was in profit was, actually, this is not true. I don't know what I'm looking at right now. But yeah, it's just not a good stock overall. JP Morgan Chase is a position that I've sold out of. I do have a like a $9 position in there. Made 251 on dividends in there. Next position is 53 bucks. Vanguard S&P. You know, Coca-Cola is that big for me. Here's NVDA right here. J&J, Yieldbex, Coney, which I. Oh, so this takes into account dividends as well, which is nice because I've made 28 bucks in dividends, so I'm only up 14 overall, but I was down really big on that. Anyways, if we look up here, yeah, JP Morgan, Vanguard, Coca-Cola, 3 very good stocks for me so far. Looking over here to the daily or the monthly calendar, if we look over here, the 10th, I was up 26 bucks, 1%, which is a huge day. Next day, the 11th, I was up 0.5%, $17 again. The next day, I lost it and some. The next day, if we jump over here, $50.96. This is the biggest day I have ever had in the stock market, the biggest green day that I've ever had in the stock market. I was up $1.68%, and again up $50.96. Round that up to $51. This is a huge, I guess, milestone for me. You know, anybody's happy at their next biggest day, next biggest day. I'm looking forward to maybe one day I'll be making $100 a day. You know, to me, $50 a day is huge. I'm used to these big swings. Like, if you look over here at last month, I was up $44 in one day, pretty close to here, but then I was down $30 over the next part of that week, and then here I was only up $20 over 2 days, but I was down $41 that week. There's just so many swings, and that's how the stock market works. You know, it's up and it's down. But I think what I can't wait for is just to see these big days like this rolling in, and that's why you have a diversified portfolio. I'm going to jump over to this separate stock tracker that I have here in a second. But, you know, there's diversification is good, and it'll help you see less of these big red days and more of these big green days. All right, finally, we're jumping over here to Wyatt's portfolio. Market value, this one's a little bit off. I don't know quite why, but these stats are still all correct. If we look over here, performance, we've had a market return of $112. That's not correct, but $179, I believe, is correct. 6.04%. That's including dividends, obviously. And I think that's a pretty good number for about 6 months. My dividend yield is 7.74%. That's because I have a big position in Coney. I'm also young. I'm only 17. And I have a lot of time to make this money back. I'm not going to sit here at 60 years old and see, you know, investing in these risky stocks. If it goes to zero, I'm not going to be sitting here like, oh my God, I can't retire. You know, I'm 17. I can stand to lose a couple $1,000s. My dividend growth rate is 23.62%, which is very good. And dividends received, obviously, $66.21. If we look over here, dividend income breakdown. Also, by the way, this portfolio is Ryan Williams' portfolio tracker. It's very good. It took 20 minutes to set up, and it's nice. I kind of like these Excel trackers more. I used to have some separate tracker that just didn't work very well. Didn't like it. I believe it wasn't Snowball, it was Gitcoin. And he shows that one, but I find the intraday trading and those numbers just aren't very accurate. I don't know why. Anyways, jumping back over here to dividend income breakdown, we're up $238.03 annually, which is a whole lot for a $2,000 portfolio. Obviously, I'm making 10% of this portfolio back. If I had a $1 million in this portfolio at the same diversification rate, I'd be at $100,000 a year, which is good. I'm fine with that number. Monthly, we're making $20, enough to buy you a Chick-fil-A meal. Of course, this is all getting reinvested. So I mean, next year it'll be $300 and maybe 350, and it'll keep growing. Weekly, we're making $4.58, and daily we're making 65 cents, which is a pretty sad number. But but that's look at the weekly. That's enough to buy a couple donuts a week. That's enough to buy a drink a week. That's pretty good for sitting here not doing anything. I don't even have a job right now. This is all money that I've either been given for birthday and shit like that, or with chores, etc. And I'm making $238 a year just to sit around on my ass and look at these big green and red candlesticks every day. So I think it's worth it for that. This is it for the day, everybody. Make sure you go over to my X and follow it. I have my channel linked in my bio with a big gap in between it. I post every time I upload a new video. Sometimes I just post random shit like this. Reposts, normal X account stuff. I'm almost at 100 followers. 80, not really almost, but Anyways, that's it for this episode, and I will see y'all in the next one.